This is Montgomery Mosaic on 1450 WOL, WPRS, HD2, and worldwide on WOLDCnews.com. Montgomery Mosaic features topics of interest to Montgomery County residents, businesses, and visitors. Here now is your host, Deborah Milo.
Good morning, Montgomery County, and welcome to another edition of Montgomery Mosaic. I'm your host, Deborah Milo. On today's show, we're going to talk about small and minority business development, and my guest today is Devance Walker, Chief of the Division of Small and Minority Business Empowerment for the Montgomery County Department of Economic Development. Devance, I know we've had you on before, but welcome back to Montgomery Mosaic. It's great to see you.
Good to see you, too, and thanks for having me.
If you would, talk a little bit and tell our listeners just a bit about yourself, such as, you grew up in the county and kind of leading to what your role is as the chief of the Division of Small and Minority Business Empowerment. And by the way, congratulations on the appointment.
Thank you so much. I'm currently the chief of our Division of Empowerment. The basic responsibilities include working with small and minority businesses, getting these businesses to get person to create businesses in the county, and to get these businesses to look at the county as a place they can do business to other places as well as within the county. So that's basically what my role is. Now, my background, more or less, I'm a Richmond, Virginia kid who grew up there in low-income community and went into the military. Then coming from the military, went to Howard University, and as a result of going to the great Howard U.
No plug there.
Well, before Howard U, I was in the military at 17 years old. So, but anyway, after going through Howard University, I came out to Montgomery County to work. I worked for the federal government a little bit as an intern, and then got in love with Montgomery County. And because Montgomery County seemed to be a very progressive place, I made it my home, and I've had kids. I have kids who've grown up here in Montgomery County, so I love it here.
That's wonderful to hear. I know this really is a great place to work and live, to say the least. Now, about this new role, I want to ask you, do you look at small and minority businesses from a different perspective now? I know that sometimes when you're working your way through, and since this is you've been acting in this role for quite some time, as actually officially being in the role, do you look at small and minority businesses any differently?
Well, I'm being more aggressive in trying to get our minority community, Black, Hispanic, and women involved in our system. So County Executive Ike Leggett, he very strongly want to do more with our business community. So I think part of his selection to put me in permanent in this role is to me to carry his mandate to help minority and women get a piece of the pie. And that's primarily contracting, because we had a disparity study that showed that our system is not doing enough business with minority businesses, especially African-American businesses. And so we want to change that. We want to let people know that we're open for business, and we want them here, okay? We want them to be part of our system and to get some of these millions of dollars that we're contracting.
This is such an engaging topic, and I want to be sure that we're able to cover as much as possible. So let's talk a little bit about our future entrepreneurs. It's important that they get as much information and have as many resources as possible. Talk a little about the small business resource seminars to persons who are interested in starting businesses.
Surely. We have one seminar that we do, business resource seminar that we hold in Wheaton at the Wheaton Innovation Center on a monthly basis. So we ask people to come out to that. They can sign up. It's all free. They can sign up, and we give them what resources are available for them. So many people don't think they can start a business. First of all, they think when they start a business that they need a whole lot of money to start a business. And yet you can start a business with less than $200.
Wow.
So if you find something that you're interested in and you find you love to do and there's a need, you have a business. So you have to go out, of course, market the business.
Right.
And all that, and let people know that you're available and you're meeting their particular need. You can solve their problem. So that's your business. Anyone can do this at any time. So we're trying to get more people understanding the processes that we have to do business, to feel free to come out and talk to us. We have seminars that we work with the Maryland Small Business Development Center, co-sponsoring some of these seminars. They themselves have a whole range of seminars, as well as Montgomery College. So we have all kind of resources in the county that a person can use to acclimate themselves to be an entrepreneur. And we then want to follow up with them to make sure they get what they need to be successful. We want people to be successful. We gain by a new person or an existing person operating a business in Montgomery County. We gain by them employing people in Montgomery County, having jobs. That's our bottom line, having jobs. So we want to help as much as possible.
If you've just tuned in, this is Montgomery Mosaic, and I'm your host, Deborah Milo. Today I'm chatting with Devance Walker, Chief of Small and Minority Business Empowerment for the county's Department of Economic Development. Share with our listeners, Devance, about the Small Business Luncheon on June 24th. Talk about the purpose of the luncheon and who usually attends.
Well, we normally have this luncheon. Actually, it's relatively a new luncheon. We had one last year. We have one this year on June 24th, as you mentioned. And we try to recognize businesses who've provided some type of benefit to the county, small businesses. So we bring them together and we recognize them by the county executive presenting them with awards. It could be service businesses, technology businesses, in the different categories. And so we want to, again, do this year, bring people in. We will have a main speaker there. And, again, to recognize. One of the things we had last year, we had a special recognition to the Mentor of the Year. And so that is a follow-up to our program that we do annually. And we just started the 2015 session. And we're looking for other people as well to be part of this program where we provide mentorship. We try to find a mentor for the person, but we meet monthly with this group to help them grow. They're relatively new businesses, less than 5 years old. And we provide them resources, answer their questions, bring in experts to tell them how the best practices to run a business.
Oh, my.
And we do this with them for 1 year. We keep them for 1 year. And hopefully at the end of the year, they can see an increase in their dollar value, and they will begin to hire people and get more out and understand the system. Because a lot of people just don't understand who to contact, where to go, and we want to shorten that cycle where they have a host of information and they don't have to be running around trying to find different things. So the mentorship program is one that we promote, and we did this at the luncheon last year, as well as other awards to our businesses.
You know something, that sounds to me like something you would consider an entrepreneur innovation lab of some kind, because you're saying that you actually incubate the business, or you incubate the process for about a year, and
right.
The entrepreneur has the chance to be able to have access to resources, continual resources, for about a year. Right.
We kind of help them shorten that process, their learning curve, if you will, where we're getting them information. We find out what they feel they need. We take care of that too. We address their need, but we also know there are things they don't even know about.
Right.
And so we go out and get these experts to come in and share information, people who been there, done that, made millions of dollars, and these folks just want to give back. They don't cost us anything. They just want to come to our office, sit down with these neophyte businesses and share information and make them healthy and successful.
That's amazing. I understand that you're partnering with the U.S. Small Business Administration to host its Emerging Leaders Program for 2015. Now, I'm sure our audience would like to hear more about that program. Can you share?
This program is something that Antonio Dawes and his staff at the Small Business Administration district office. They sponsor. They bring in a number of experienced business owners to sit around a table and talk about their issues and problems. The coordinator of this, or at least the facilitator, is Tim Curran, who's been one of our speakers for our mentorship program.
Okay.
By coincidence.
Tim Curran?
Yeah, Kerin. He is a contractor, and they selected him to be the facilitator for this group. And so they had a group last year, and they haven't one this year. But this year is different in the sense that Montgomery County is in partnership with the SBA to host several of the meetings. And so we're going to have probably, 12 to 14 meetings in Montgomery County where they're going to meet actually in our conference room at the Department of Economic Development. But to be in the program, you have to apply to the SBA, contact Antonio Doss there or the SBA district office.
Is there a contact number, or should folks refer to the website?
Go to the SBA website.
SBA website.
Right. And matter of fact, it should be on the website, the Emerging Leaders Program.
Okay.
All right. And they will see all these things that's going on. So that's a good site anyway. If you start a business or in business, the SBA website is a good place to go to see what's going on in the federal government.
So now I understand that the department also hosts a business advisor from the Maryland Small Business Development Center to provide, one-on-one counseling to small business owners. Can you talk a little bit about it? Because it sounds really interesting.
Sure. William Freeman Jr., he's a junior like I am a junior. That's what they did back in the day.
That's right.
Named all the boys junior.
That's right.
All right, but anyway, he is representative from the Maryland Small Business Development Center, and what we've done, we've actually provided an office at the Department of Economic Development for him to meet clients. So he comes in every Tuesday to meet folks, and you can always call him, go to their website and look him up, or call our office.
Same website, SBA website?
No, you can go to the Maryland Small Business Development Center website.
Okay.
Or call our office at 240-777-2000.
Okay.
Should I repeat that?
Please.
240-777-2000, and ask for an appointment with Bill Freeman or William Freeman, and he will sit down with a person interested in starting a business. He's a former banker himself.
So he knows his stuff.
Oh, he knows his stuff. There are other resources in the county too, like we have SCORE. Again, it comes from Small Business Administration, and they're at the Rockville Library and Wheaton Library, and these are retirees, executive retirees, who've been in business, and they want to give back. Because when people retire, they want something to do, and they're not looking for any type of compensation at all. They just want to be successful and help people. So the people can call Wheaton Library or Rockville Library and meet with a SCORE representative. So we have a lot of resources for businesses, for people interested in operating a business.
You most certainly do. County friends, this is Montgomery Mosaic on 1450 WOL, and I'm Deborah Milo, talking with Devance Walker of the Montgomery County Department of Economic Development. We're talking about empowering local small businesses, so listen up because this is really good information. Before we go to break, Devance, I just wanted to say that, every business needs a way to plot a course to ensure success. When we come back, we're going to talk about how you can tell our listeners about the business navigation services you offer to business owners, because I understand that's a real important component. So, folks, this is Montgomery Mosaic on 1450 WOL. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning. This WOL Traffic Update is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life. East Capitol Street, Minnesota Avenue, gas leak reported. Watch for direction around that. East Capitol Street near Minnesota Avenue. Northbound Branch Avenue after Alabama Avenue before Pennsylvania Avenue. The right lane is blocked with a utility crew. It's still very slow on the outer loop into the pothole repairs heading up to 214. Stay to the left. Winston Churchill's words stirred his country in the face of defeat. Today they inspire us to reach for our own victories. Commitment, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by Jiffy Lube. For today, mostly cloudy, highs in the 60s, clearing overnight down to 37 for low. Tomorrow, a sunny day and a high near 59. Have you discovered the value of Jiffy Lube's signature service oil change? Not just an oil change. Jiffy Lube checks vital fluids, tire pressure, lights and wipers, and even vacuums the interior. JiffyLubeDC.com. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
County friends, we're back. It's Deborah Milo on Montgomery Mosaic talking to Devance Walker of the Montgomery County Department of Economic Development. You know, we're talking about empowering local small minority businesses. So, really tune in because we want you to get as much beneficial information as you possibly can. Before we went to break, we started talking a little bit about how businesses need to plot a course in order to ensure their success. Devance, can you tell our listeners about the business navigation services you offer to business owners?
Sure. Our county council established a business navigator for our office, and that person happened to be on my team. And so if a person has an issue going on getting through our services and they want someone to contact, they call our office and ask for the business navigator. And she will meet with them and plot a solution to that problem and look for resources to help them. And if it's with our system, within our system, then she will contact the appropriate department or agency or division to find out how we can resolve whatever is going on with the business owner. So there are other means that people can solve their problem. They go directly to a department themselves. So, like the permitting department is one, permitting division.
Right.
And our county executive making every effort to make sure he's done this to make sure that the permitting system is shorter rather than longer.
Oh, yeah, because it can be cumbersome.
Right. So we've made a great improvement there. And but a business navigator is available for anyone who's looking or for advice or has some issues or problems getting through the system, like in a liquor license, et cetera. So that's what that person's there for. But we have other people on our team that's responsive to the community.
Speaking of the kind of systems that Mr. Leggett is working on to make it easier and more flexible for businesses to get started, minority businesses to get started, that leads me to think about, how do you market the county's procurement program to local and minority or women-owned businesses?
Good question. We have a person named Alvin Boss, great guy, who works in the Department of Procurement, actually in that office. And he's out. Well, he's dealing with people every day who are trying to get on our list. The county executive has been very, very concerned that we are not reaching enough minority businesses to be on our list, to do business with the county. And what we have found, interesting enough, is that we have like 3,600 people who are registered as vendors.
Wow.
But we have only 687, as of February 24th, 687 businesses who recognize themselves as a minority female person with disabled. So you see there's a gap here.
There's a very significant gap.
Right. So we don't have, in essence, I guess, we don't have minority businesses, women-owned businesses who are registering and identifying themselves as minority businesses. Now, why is that important? Well, it's important because if we have a contract and say a majority firm wins this contract of $20 million to do construction, Alvin, Ms. Boss, turns to them and says, look, you have to subcontract some of that to a minority vendor. So we have if we have the small list, it's problematic for us.
Right.
So I don't know why people are not really registering themselves, identifying themselves as minority vendors. But our county executive has put this as one of his priority things to do. And just this past week, I was at the Black Ministers Conference trying to enforce his mandate to convince our ministers who were open to it to say something from the pew, to talk to their congregation, those people who are starting businesses, those people in business, to register. We have millions of dollars we're putting out there, and we want them to know about it. But I also want to say there are other agencies in the county as well, not just county government,
Right.
like the school system and Montgomery College, and we want them to be part of this whole system. We're there trying to help folks, and we need the businesses to respond to us.
That's right. Talk a little bit more about how you plan to do the outreach to reach the minority community.
Well, one thing I've already done, like I said, I just met with the Black Ministers Conference last
Right.
week to make my plea to them and ask them to help me, and they said they would help us there.
Oh, great.
We are working with the Minority Supplier Development Council called the Capital Region Minority Supplier Development Council. They have a certification program that they talk to minority businesses and register them there. So they promise to send our notices out to their database to let them know that we have opportunities. We're looking at the Maryland Department of Transportation certification program. They have minority members in that program, and we're going to send literature out to them, those people who are listed. We're there on the website, and we're going to invite those folks to come over to Montgomery County to apply. And we have a good relationship with Prince George's County, so we're going to Prince George's County, and we have a lot of minority business in Prince George's County. We're contacting them to share with us some of their vendors and tell them, come on over to Montgomery County and do business. So to be a minority certified firm, you do not have to live in or headquarter your business in Montgomery County.
And see, that's important for people to understand.
Right. Yes, good point. So you can be outside the county and still be doing business in Montgomery County and to be a registered minority business. Now, we do have a local reserve program that we also are marketing. For that program, you must be headquartered in Montgomery County. But for the minority business program, you can be anywhere in the United States and still be part of our program. And we want you to do business with us.
That is absolutely amazing and fabulous, I might add. This is Deborah Milo on Montgomery Mosaic, talking to Devance Walker, Division Chief of the Small and Minority Business Empowerment for the county's Department of Economic Development. And listeners, this is really great because for those of you out there who do have some passions or you have some ideas of businesses that you want to start, this is the time to listen in, and this is the contact information that you're going to want. And we'll provide more of that contact information before we conclude today's show. Talk about a little bit about the organizations that help start up businesses. What organizations would that include?
The Capital Region Minority Supply Development Council, they take people already in business, but one who really they help with contracting with the major firm. Let me explain that first. This Capital Region Minority Supply Development Council, they work with private enterprises. So they would have Raytheon, for example, Marriott, you name the big companies. They are members of the organization, and when these organizations are looking for minority businesses, they contact this organization, and this organization send them a list of certified minority firms. So, like I said, the Maryland Small Business Development Center work very closely with these businesses and having them structure their business plans, their marketing plans, et cetera, correctly, and giving them advice.
Wow. That's a lot of resources, Now, I'm really interested in hearing about, and I'm quite sure our listening audience is as well, about the Small Business Mentorship Program for recently started businesses. Talk about that.
Okay, we've had this program for several years, and we've had success stories. We got a series. I was trying to tell you some of the success stories. I'm trying to think which one to tell you about. But anyway, we've had several success stories with this. We focused this year on having people in the program who are in business full time. We've had people in the past who are part time. They're thinking about starting a business, and they come to our seminars and all that kind of stuff. Come to our meetings. This year we have about 10 people who are in the program. We normally have like 10 to 14 people in the program.
Okay.
And basically what we do, we don't guarantee a mentor, but we try to find a mentor for each one of those persons in the program.
Oh my.
Even if they don't get a mentor, they come to a monthly meeting, and we bring in experts to talk to them. We do an assessment first to say to the group, what is it that you need?
Right.
Okay. And we do an assessment looking at what they do, like have them fill out an assessment sheet, and we found out they might need, they say they need one thing, but then may not have a business plan.
Right.
So we had to bring somebody in there to talk about business plan. But we have these experts who come in voluntarily. We don't pay them anything. They come in because they're trying to give back.
Give back.
And they come in and spend their time with them. This year, we're also trying to partner with SCORE. That is, again, these are senior executives who retired to be part of our mentorship program where they could be mentors.
Right.
But we go out and we search for experienced business owners to also be mentors. And then we follow up with them. Don Mulroney, who owns the accounting firm Success Group, he's been a mentee. He's one of our first mentees when we started the program, and he's been part of this program forever. Hilton, Augustine, and many others have been part of this program to help us grow in this program. Aspen Services, right here in Silver Spring, has been very good to us in talking to our mentees. So we've gotten a lot of help in this, and I think the people who are speaking to our group get as much out of this as the people who are receiving the information.
You know, that's not surprising, because what's the old adage that when you give back, you're actually getting more.
Yes.
You know, and it sounds like that's exactly what's happening. You know, DeVance, we could go on and on about this, but before we go, would you mind giving a website that our listeners can consult? www.choosemontgomerymd.gov. Okay, folks, you heard it. Well, listeners, unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. I'd really like to thank my guest, DeVance Walker of Montgomery County's Department of Economic Development. And as always, thanks to you, our listeners, for sharing your morning with us. You know, we're on twice a month now, second and fourth Wednesday of each month at the same time. Tune in for another Montgomery Mosaic on 1450 WOL, WPRS HD2, and worldwide on WOLDCnews.com. Till next time, make it a positive day.
You've been listening to Montgomery Mosaic, featuring topics of interest to Montgomery County residents, businesses, and visitors. For more information or a copy of the show, email publicinformation@montgomerymd.gov or call 240-777-6507. Be sure to tune in at this time on the second and fourth Wednesday every month for Montgomery Mosaic on 1450 WOL, WPRS, HD2, and worldwide on WOLDCnews.com.